Hello everyone, George DeSantis here with a look at the market. This weekend I'm doing two videos. I did one earlier and that was on the general market like the S&P 500. And now I'm going to turn to some ETFs and individual stocks. Before we go any further, we usually bring up a disclaimer and just be sure that you read this. Make sure you understand that I'm not giving professional investment advice here. Um, this is purely for educational purposes. All right, let's take a look at some ETFs and individual stocks. We're going to use Shaken Analytics software. Right here, I have a list of the SPDR ETFs, the 11 of them, plus the SPY itself. Shaken rates the ETFs according to their power rating, their power gauge rating, and you can see from best to worst. So what we discussed was how could we allocate funds, some of the cash that we have to owning some of these ETFs over a period of time. And so one of the things that we came up with was that we would take the top 6 ETFs, the top 6 performing ones, and we would allocate, let's say 72% of the cash. So it would be like 12% to each one of them, 12% of the cash to each one. And then the rest we'd allocate to the bottom 5 ETFs. So we would have a diversification across the whole market with the ETFs, but we will have an emphasis on the best performing ones up here, the top 6, and we'll see how that works. I'm going to send you some links concerning the ETFs, and you could take a look at it and hopefully develop your own way of approaching ETFs, if you care to. So let's take a list at some stocks here. This list that I either own currently or I owned at some time in the past and traded them, bought and sold. CMCO, which is a machinery manufacturing company, I don't own this one. Don't think I ever owned it. I put it on a list here for some reason. CMI Cummins, they make motors for trucks and so on. I don't own it right now, but it is very bullish. You could see it here, and the relative strength has increased significantly recently, I guess, as the industrials improved. XLK is one that I don't own, but I'll look to buy it here. XLK. ALRN, which is a biotech company, I did own it for a while, but it's very volatile, and so I got rid of it. Small loss. Accenture, I did own it for a while, but then it started breaking down here and I got rid of it. Sold it. CDNS likewise, I owned it, a nice run up here, and then I sold it here. Microsoft, still own it, and sold some covered calls on it, so I'm holding the covered calls, and I have to make some decisions about that. PayPal, you could see PayPal broke down here with the other payment systems like Visa, MasterCard, etc. But PayPal had a nice declaration of earnings, and apparently in the last couple of days it took a nice bump. I sold some puts on it with some help from a friend of mine, and who is my guru on options. And so far so good. Apple I still own, and I sold calls on this, covered calls. And I had a target on Apple of 236 or whatever. I think it was 235, 236, and now it surpassed that. Apple is continuing to do fantastically well. Adobe I don't own anymore, but it's starting to pick up again. It had a breakdown here like with many other stocks, but it seemed to be picking up here a little bit. Comcast I like, but I don't own it right now. You can see it has a pretty good looking chart. Google owned it for a short while, some time ago, but I don't own any of it now. I suffered through this breakdown a little bit here, this breakdown. The payment systems, Visa, MasterCard, etc., PayPal, and now it seemed to be perking up a bit here. So I still have it. MasterCard likewise is part of the payment systems, and you could see follow the same pattern, price pattern. I recently bought Southern Electric Utilities. I like the chart. I just like how this chart looks. Very bullish to me. And look at the relative strength here and money flow. And so I bought some Southern. They pay a decent dividend. Target, I still have it. I bought it some time ago and I still have it. Pulling back a little bit because it became overbought. What else? Visa, still own it. It's a long-term holding for me. And so the payment systems are beginning to perk up again. I did buy, in order to own the general market, I bought the Direxion ETF of the spiders. It's leveraged 3-to-1. So got to be real careful with this one. I have it at the current time, but I won't hesitate to sell it if it burps. But right now I own it. Instead of buying SSO, which I traded a lot in the past, I bought the 3 Direxion SPXL. So that's that. Now I bought a small company called Rail with my friend's advice. One of my friends, my fashionista, likes it, and I take her advice on these fashionista type stocks. So we'll see where it goes from here. It's only a $20, $22 stock, but it went up nicely on Friday again. It pulled back a bit, but then it went up on Friday nicely. So we'll hold on to that one for now. Now this weekend, well today actually, I got the IBD 50 growth stocks, top performing 50 growth stocks, and put the list here, and so you could see how Shaken has rated them, and we can look at a few of them on the top here. This one is Essent Group. It's a thrift and mortgage finance company, and you can see it's very bullish. And this one, the second one here, Federal Signal Machinery, and I like the way the chart looks. I don't own these, by the way. So I'm just showing you some extra charts. This is taken from IBD. SEDG, which is semiconductors. Nice looking chart. TKR, kind of volatile, very volatile. And CDW is better. See, a nice steady looking chart. That's what I want to see. So I like that one. I don't own it. EDU, same thing here. I have a note here that these two stocks on the checklist, they have all green on the checklist except the overbought, oversold condition. So it's now overbought. Actually, it's neutral. I'm sorry. It's neutral. But it can continue to go higher from here. And I like the way the chart looks. Let's see. Another one is JCOM. And you can see the industry strength is weak. But apart from that, has a nice looking chart. Well, I think I'm going to call it an evening for now, and you can look at the two videos. The first one basically deals with the general market. This video deals with a few, individual stocks and ETFs. I'll attach a few things to the email for those of you who get the email, and you can take a look at them. I hope you had a great weekend, and thanks for listening.